Well, from the last time that we talked, I just wanted to say thank you for making time to meet up with me. On behalf of Johnny's, I want to say thank you for your time, and I'd like to give you this hat just to always think of us.
Yeah.
Now, when we spoke last time, you were about to head down and spend some time with family. How did the tamales come out?
Okay, so my mom did not end up making them because it was a very short amount of time that I was there. And we decided that we were going to make them for Christmas.
That's a big undertaking, but you'll have a lot more time.
Yeah.
So were you able to at least enjoy the time you were down there in Arizona?
Oh yeah, I ate way too much food. And I was just like cooking all day with my mom, so we didn't make tamales, but we made everything else possible.
That sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We actually went out of town and we ate Chinese food for Thanksgiving.
What?
Yeah, we were visiting in Boise. We had no family. We just wanted to see what it would be like. And so I'm always looking for new opportunities, and went up there and we had Chinese food, and I think it says pilgrims like fortune cookies.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much where we went from for there. I know your time is very valuable. You got a lot of stuff going on, managing the farm, trying to take care of your classes. So I've actually kind of built an agenda to make sure that I'm not stealing all your time away, because that's very frustrating. Now with that, this is kind of the play-by-play of what's kind of going to kind of go on, and we can adjust accordingly to the way that you want to approach things. So if you see something in here and you want to adjust, we can. So last time we spoke, you talked about some of the needs of the farm, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that weeding was just a tremendous chore. Could you explain that a little bit better?
So weeding probably makes up 80% of the internship. That including harvesting and planting, just spending time weeding, because we hand weed or we use a hoe, and the hoes are kind of dull at this point.
Oh.
So you're really just whacking out the ground. And so, or we do this family weed pulling time where we all sit in an area and just go at it with our hands.
That's super time consuming.
Yeah.
So do you feel that this holds you back from being able to put new plants in to get starts going?
Yes. Yeah. It took so much time focusing on that we neglected other areas that needed to get tended to, or putting more production out there.
What are some of the areas, if you had the time available, because weeding wasn't such an issue anymore? Let's say you were able to drop that down to only 50% instead of 80%. That's 30% more productivity. What are some of the areas you'd want to pour into?
Definitely putting new plants in, and bringing in our transplants and planting and having succession produce.
So a lot more spin farming going on, a lot more intensive. Yeah, that could definitely boost economics.
Oh yeah, we'd have way more to sell at the gardeners market and everything.
Which means you could bring in more interns, which means you could have a whole bigger pool to deal with.
Yeah.
Now, in accordance with that, how many interns are you having on the farm, and how many paid personnel are on the farm?
So we have about 5 interns altogether, including me, and those are all paid. But we also have volunteers from a practicum class for 4,900.
Okay.
And so they come and they spend 40 hours throughout the semester working on the farm. And then we have a lot of volunteers. We are really fortunate in that sense, where we have people that really have a knack for it and really like it, so they just come out and help.
That makes a huge difference. Now, how many people are we talking about? Are they bringing the volunteers that come in? Are they using the implements that you have there, the hose, to do the weeding? And so everything that's being used is being provided by the farm, but the labor is being provided by mostly volunteers outside of the paid interns.
Yes.
How many people are we talking about here?
It varies. So during the beginning of the semester, we had 5 people that would come regularly, and there were some that would just very so often. But we have very loyal people that do come. Like if they're not there for a couple months, they will show up like a month later. And
almost to get their organic farm fix.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And that makes a huge difference, because that means you have to have a lot of implements. It means a lot of people are probably not caring for them. They love helping on the farm, but when things don't belong to you, it's a different level of maintenance.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of harvesting shears that way.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? We actually do sell harvesting shears. I am not prepared today with those things, but I would love to bring that back up and see if we could work something out, maybe to help facilitate that next time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Now, kind of going down the list a little bit. Now, you said that you didn't know anything about Johnny's, and the time that we spoke to the time that we're now meeting, and so grateful for you actually taking the time out to do it. Have you heard anything more about have you heard about Lehman's, or if you ever went to Home Depot, you've seen the level of the implements they have there. They're good for the small time gardener, but they're not really fantastic for somebody that's running an operation like yourself. They just don't live up to the wear and tear. And that's kind of what sets Johnny's apart. For those that really want to get in there and are trying to cultivate a quality product, I mean, Johnny specifies, or I apologize, Johnny's does a wonderful job of catering to those that are doing market gardening and those that are doing small scale organic farming. We actually sell a lot of organic seeds, and that's why we're referred to as Johnny Selected Seeds. And I believe I've talked to Joe, and he says that a good portion of your seeds actually come from us.
Yeah, I was realizing that because I went by the farm and I was looking at what seeds we needed to get, and I saw it, I'm like, oh, that looks really familiar. And then the old farm I used to work at, which was much bigger, the Duncan family farm, that one, they use the products too.
So you see that we really have a good reputation. It speaks for itself. Going along with that, do you feel that with that confidence in our products, would you want to expand that into doing a little bit more business and looking at the hand tools? Maybe we could look at some of the prices and see how you would feel about that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Now, we offer a lot of things, but I really kind of focused on the hose because that's something that I wanted to alleviate a lot of your weeding experience. And if you weren't getting up and down all the time, I think you easily could probably lose or gain 20% more productivity because you're standing the whole time. So these are some of the main hose that we talked about. Here you go. That's the. So we have different sizes of stirrup hose, collinear hose, which were, when we spoke last time, we talked about Elliot Coleman and kind of his response. Well, the collinear hose was actually developed, this particular one that Johnny's does, by Elliot himself. And he's had over 30 years in the business. I mean, he put all that practical knowledge into developing products that would make it more beneficial for him on his farm. You know, he's got a little years on it now. And then we have the trapezoid hose, or trapezoid hoses. And if you have a bunch of people coming in, then more than likely you're probably gonna have to replace handles. Because, you know, a lot of people don't spend all the time, they get a lot of dirt in it, it wears out the wood. And so I even included the prices for the handles. Now, judging from this, are there any particular things that stand out to you? Maybe, do you have any particular questions about the hose and what sets them apart? What's different between the collinear hose and the trapezoid hose?